Growing up, I was told one thing about my father. He left us. My mother said he walked out when I was 4 years old and never looked back. Whenever I asked where he was, she would simply say, "He chose to leave." I believed her. For 20 years, I hated a man I barely remembered. I hated him for missing my birthdays, for never seeing me graduate, for not being there when I got my first job. My mother worked hard to raise me alone, and I convinced myself that she had sacrificed everything because my father had abandoned us. Then, when I was 24, my grandmother passed away. My mother asked me to help clean out her room. We had lived with my grandmother our whole life, ever since the divorce. While going through a closet, I found a small wooden box hidden underneath some blankets. Inside were photographs, receipts, and dozens of envelopes. Every envelope was addressed to me, and every single one was signed by the same name, my father's. My hands started shaking. I opened the first letter. "I don't know if you'll ever read this. Your mother won't let me see you, but I need you to know that I never wanted to leave. Couldn't breathe." I opened another, then another. There were letters from birthdays, letters from Christmas, letters from the day I started school. There was even one written on the day I graduated high school. He had written to me every single year, and somehow, I had never received a single one. I confronted my mother that night. I placed the letters on the kitchen table and asked, "Why did you tell me Dad abandoned us?" She stared at them for a long time. Then she started crying. She finally admitted the truth. My father hadn't left us. They had separated after years of fighting, but he wanted to stay involved in my life. He called constantly. He sent letters. He sent birthday presents. He even tried to take me for weekends. But my mother had been angry and bitter after the divorce. She told him that if he wanted to see me, he would have to take her to court. He couldn't afford a lawyer, so instead he kept writing. My mother hid every letter, every photograph, every gift, and when I asked about him, she told me he didn't care. I felt like my entire childhood had been stolen from me. I asked her one question: "Where is he now?" She looked down. "He moved away years ago." I spent the next few days searching for him. Eventually, I found an old address through one of his relatives. I called the number. A woman answered. When I asked for my father, there was a long silence. Then she said, "I'm sorry, he passed away 3 years ago." I sat there staring at the wall. 3 years. I had spent 20 years hating a man who had spent those same 20 years trying to reach me. A week later, his sister gave me a box he had left behind. Inside was a photograph of me as a little boy. I cried harder than I ever had before. I couldn't bring my father back. I couldn't get back the birthdays, the graduations, or the years we should have had together. But I finally understood something. My father hadn't abandoned me. He had been waiting for me the entire time, and the person I trusted to tell me the truth had been the one keeping